Are you ready for a story? Then let's begin. In a lush valley lived two flocks of birds, the sparrows and the starling. Each flock was vibrant and full of life, but they were often at odds, competing for the same resources: the best branches for building nests, the brightest berries for feasting, and the safest spots to roost. Their squabbles echoed throughout the valley, a symphony of discord that kept them both on edge. One early morning, a wise old falcon, perched high above on a mountain ledge, observed the conflict. He saw how the sparrows flitted nervously from branch to branch, their little hearts racing in constant fear of the starling. Meanwhile, the starling often chased the sparrows away, their raucous calls filling the air with a sense of dominance but little joy. With a steady voice, the falcon decided it was time for a change. He summoned both flocks to a grand meeting atop the ancient oak that stood in the center of the valley. The sparrows and the starling hesitated, casting wary glances at each other across the gathering. "Look at you," the falcon began. "You see vast skies stretching above, filled with air and endless possibilities. You are all birds, creatures born to soar, yet you are here, tethered to the ground by your conflict. Why not rise?" Curious, the birds listened as he continued. "What if instead of competing for the same branches, you work together? The sky has room for all of you, but only if you learn to share the bounty of the valley." Initially, the idea seemed impossible to both flocks. However, the falcon proposed a challenge. "Each morning, rise and fly together, and at dusk, gather in harmony to share what you found throughout the day." Though skeptical, both flocks agreed, hoping to outwit each other. The next morning, as the first light painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, the birds took flight. For the first time, they soared together, weaving in and out like leaves in the wind. They discovered new heights and hidden pockets of the valley they had never visited. The air felt lighter and their hearts less burdened by rivalry. Days passed, and soon their once contentious flocks began to forge bonds. The sparrows learned from the agile starling how to find the juiciest berries, while the starlings observed the sparrow's knack for stitching sturdy nests. They laughed and played, chirping melodies that sang of friendship and trust. As the sun set behind the mountains, the sky transformed into a canvas of orange and purple, signifying not just the end of the day, but also the rise of unity. In their gathering, they shared the day's discoveries, each flock realizing they were stronger together than apart. Months later, the valley was transformed. The two flocks flourished, building a haven where sparrow and starling nested side by side. The echoing squabbles were replaced by harmonious songs that drew other creatures to marvel at the beauty of cooperation. Above them, the sky stretched endlessly and inviting, a reminder that rising above conflict can lead to extraordinary heights. From then on, whenever clouds of discord threatened to break, the birds would remember the falcon's lesson. Together, they could soar higher than any divide could permit. If you enjoyed my story, please subscribe, and I'll see you again.